Yeah. So Kiki Palmer posted this show on her Twitter. I don't know if she wrote this, produced it. I don't know. Maybe she was just like really trying to promote it. I don't know. But she kept posting about this show, Southern Fried Rice. Y'all, before I even tell y'all what it's about, I know just off the title alone, y'all know it's gonna be some crap. So this show is about an Asian girl who was adopted by a black family, and now she's going to an HBCU. So this show chronicles her adventures, right? And now I had the sense to not even watch this nonsense, okay? But I guess not everyone did, because some folks gave it a peek, they gave it a gander, and they were saying how the show. And the funny thing about the show is that it was written by black people who went to HBCUs, right? And people watched this show and they were like, because apparently, okay, the Asian girl, her best friend is a black girl, but she got pregnant at 17 and now she not going to college. And then the bully on the show is a dark-skinned fat girl, and she looked at the Asian girl wrong, and all the other black girls jumped her for looking at the Asian girl. A bunch of nonsense, right? And this deserves, an honest critique, right? Something I say time and time again. I've said this so many times, and like it's to the point where my best friend literally told me one time, she was like, girl, you need to just write your own show because you always critiquing everybody else's stuff. And it's true, I do need to just write my own show because y'all can't write. And that's not about black people or people from HBCUs, that just happens to be who I'm like, responding to right now. But just in general, regardless of race, regardless of educational background, wherever you went to school, by and large, y'all can't write word for damn. These shows y'all be writing be ass-a-roni. I will tell you that. I need to be a movie or show critic because when I be watching y'all stuff, I just be like, hey, like the math don't quite connect. And I don't know if it's, and it's crazy because people say that like I'm so smart and stuff, and I really don't think that I'm really like otherworldly smart or anything. I think that I just think, and the average person is completely brain dead. I'm not even joking because I don't think I'm any sort of genius or anything. But I think that the average person is dumb as a pile of bricks. So by comparison, it's like, whoa. Because if you wanted to write this story, right, you could have wrote something like an Asian girl who was adopted by a black family, and she goes back to Asia to meet her biological family, and now she's struggling with her identity because she goes back to Asia, they're anti-black, and she's like, well, that's who I was raised with, right? So it becomes this thing of her struggling with who she is, right, versus who she is. Because, if she grew up in East Asia, it would have been a completely different story, but this is who she is, and she's dealing with how her, actual cultural background views the culture that she was raised in and her identity of self and all this stuff, right? You could have went about this many different ways, but this the way you chose, lady. Now, I do have to say something about people who attend HBCUs. Now, first of all, not everybody who attends an HBCU is Black American, okay? There are some Africans and Caribbeans going to HBCUs, and that is important to bring up because I really hope that these folks is African or Caribbean and it wasn't Black Americans who made this goofy ass anti-Black American shit. But I don't know because I didn't check into their backgrounds. I didn't even check into their existences at all. When somebody is so fucking stupid, you like, I don't even want to know that you're in the same room as me. Goodbye, right? Like, not even going to entertain that, okay? That's the first thing. Now, I'm not going to assume that they're African or Caribbean because that's not fair. Because realistically, the majority of HBCU attendees are going to be Black American, right? But this is something I have to point out as well. I notice that a lot of people who are like, I gotta go to an HBCU. I gotta go to an HBCU, right? They're searching for their Blackness, right? So they grew up in communities where they were the minority and they did not grow up around their people. So when it's time to apply to colleges, they're like, I have to go to an HBCU. I have to be around my people, right? Because they need that, Chile. They need that. They never had that, right? And I'm pointing that out because that also honestly plays into this, because we like to think that HBCUs have our best and our brightest. And, I hope that that is largely true. But we cannot ignore the fact that a lot of them folks applying to HBCUs are coons and coonettes who are, finally trying to be around some black folks or something, have a lot of internalized racism and colorism and, whatever, right? Because they did not grow up around their people and now they're searching for that, right? So when I see something like this coming out of HBCU, I'm really not shocked. Like, a lot of people are like, what? You guys attended HBCUs. Why are you surprised by that? It's folks from bumblefuck nowhere, KKK towns, applying to HBCUs because, again, they never had that quality of being around their people, so they're searching for that. I cannot sit here and act like every black person coming out of an HBCU is some sort of black revolutionary, because that's just not true. I know too many of you niggas to even sit here and lie like that, okay? Now, that's not me coming at people who attended HBCUs. No, the same way not every black person who comes out of PWI is a black revolutionary or whatever, right? That's just the reality. That's just like living in the realm of reality, because again, people were talking about, I'm so shocked the people who wrote this show attended HBCUs. And why are you shocked by that? Like, what? But anyway, right? I have to wonder, when I see something like this, how exactly do you view yourself? Like, if this is how you choose to write about yourself in the media, how do you view yourself? And in fact, I just saw something on Facebook the other day, right? Or no, this might have been Twitter. But it was a picture of Ice Spice with the guy from Stranger Things, the black guy, right? And for those of y'all who don't know, Ice Spice, she don't even look half black to me. Allegedly, she's half black and half like mestiza, Hispanic or something. But I mean, the black ain't blacking at all if you ask me, but like whatever, right? But the guy from Stranger Things is a dark-skinned, unambiguous black man, right? Now, somebody posted a picture of them together, and it was like, this is how the son and the daughter on black sitcoms be. Because, non-black women are always portraying black women in black sitcoms. But for some reason, black men get to portray themselves. So, like, all the black men on the show be dark-skinned, unambiguous black men. All the black women be biracial at best. Like, that's crazy. But whatever, right? So, somebody posted this picture. And this one black woman commented, y'all. And she said, LOL, this is how me and my brother look. And she posted a picture of her standing next to her brother, right? And y'all, she had on a blonde wig, but like, she was clearly an unambiguous black woman, right? Now, she wasn't like dark skinned or anything, but like, nobody is ever going to look at that woman and be like, oh, she's mixed, or, oh, like, I don't know what she is or what not. Like, she was clearly a black woman in a blonde wig, right? And I commented and I was like, girl, did you think that putting a blonde wig on made you look mixed? Like, what? But like, that brings me back to my question. Like, how do you all see yourselves? Because like, when I see stuff like this show, right? Or like that woman commenting, it's like, do you actually know who you are? Now, this is my thing, right? Now, I didn't go to an HBCU, but I mean, I'm Black American. I grew up in Detroit around all Black Americans. So I know a little bit something about, the Black American community, right? There were so many directions you could have taken this show in, right? First of all, honestly, look, I wouldn't have even been as confused if you made the main character half black and half Asian at least, and then made it like, oh, navigating your identity, whatever. That would have been less confusing than this nonsense, right? But even then, there were so many black avenues that you could have gone down with this, right? As a black person in the black community, okay, there are so many isms and whatever else that we deal with within the black community. You could have made this show about a dark-skinned, unambiguous black woman navigating the HBCU scene, because, a lot of black people are anti-black in their dating preferences, and I'm sure that would manifest in college and whatever, right? You could have made this about a gay black person going to an HBCU and dealing with all of this homophobia and stuff. you finally grow up and say you grew up somewhere that wasn't in the Black American community, right? You grow up, you're like, oh, I finally get to be around my people in college, right? And you're still dealing with rejection, right? You could have explored so many nuances within the Black community, right? And this what you chose to write, like Chile, huh? Again, there are so many directions you could have taken this in. Like, again, right? Say you had a Black gay man as the main character. You could have had number of episodes about how he was online to cross as a whatever. Let's make up a fake frat. I don't know, beta phi beta. Well, that's too close to alpha phi alpha. That sounds shady. Okay, whatever. Make up a fake frat, right? And he was online, and then they find out he's gay, and they like, oh no, you can't cross with us, right, or whatever. And that actually happened in real life to one of my friends. Ooh, Chile the T, but that's another story for another day. Right? There's so many things you could have addressed within the Black community, right? And instead, you chose to center an Asian person's experience in a Black, like, honey, like, wait, I'm confused because we don't have any fucking shows representing Black people and anything about us for us. Like, realistically, as a Black person, if you want to watch something about your people, it's Steve Bookie Butt. Like, I'm sitting here thinking, what is a show made by Black people for Black people? That's tough. Like, oh, that's real tough, right? The reality is we ain't got shit. That's my motherfucking point, right? You telling me you went to college and you got your degree in whatever, and you were like, yeah, I'm officially a show writer, and this is what you came up with? Bitch, if you don't break both your ankles next time you go outside, because literally, what the hell is wrong with y'all? I'm not going to hold y'all. Sometimes I see stuff like this, right? Like Black people writing shows about Asian people's experiences in the Black community. Bitch, are you dumb? We don't even have enough shows about Black people's experiences in the Black community, and this what the fuck you're focused on? Like, mind you, Asians would never write shit about your dumbass experience in Asia. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about racism. They still making bleaching cream and using Black people in ads as the before and shit, right? They don't give a fuck about you, but you niggas is over here writing fucking shows centering them in our fucking stories. Like, what are we talking about here, right? But when I see stuff like this, I have to wonder, like, is there more to this? And let me explain what I mean by that, right? Because I'm not religious, so I don't believe in God and the devil or the battle of good and evil or anything like that, right? But sometimes I look at this shit and I'm like, is there more to this? Is there something under the surface here? And let me tell y'all what I mean. One thing is for certain, right? Other groups may have their disagreements. They may oppress each other. They may get into fights and arguments and stuff, right? But the one thing they all agree on is that they hate Black people. Right? So, like, there could be a group of people who was colonized by the British, right? And they will hate Black people who they've never met and who've never done anything to them more than they hate their colonial masters, quite fucking frankly, right? Is that not the most insane thing you've ever heard? And of course, when I bring this up, there's going to be a bunch of non-Black people in the comments like, well, that's because Black people really are the worst. Like, that just goes to show you yada, 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 so and so and so. But that's not rooted in reality. It's not. And I'm not just saying that because I'm Black, right? That simply is not rooted in reality. Like, y'all, let me tell y'all what I just saw today. So this white person, they was like, oh, Black people are always saying we smell like wet dog, but I've come across so many Black people who smell aggressively of soap. Bitch, who smell clean? Like, wait, what is you talking about, right? Like, this is my point though, right? All of this shit they try to force onto Black people. Oh, Black people are unhygienic, Black people are ugly, Black people are aggressive, Black people are so and so and so, right? None of it is rooted in reality. Because if it was, they would leave us the fuck alone and it would be true, right? But they don't do that. Instead, they create a school to prison pipeline and say, oh, there's more Black people in jail. Well, duh, dumbass. You created a school to fucking prison pipeline focused on Black people. Yeah, there's going to be more Black people in jail. Dum do that. That doesn't make sense, right? It checks out, right? So, again, my point is, none of this is rooted in reality, right? Because, again, they're going to come to the comments telling me, yeah, we all hate Black people because Black people really are the worst, right? Clearly, that's not the case, though, right? So it makes me wonder, like, what am I missing? Like, there's a piece of the puzzle that I am missing, right? And it's crazy because it's about to sound like a conspiracy. Y'all about to be like, Flower Jar, come on now, right? But you come across this stuff like it's somewhere in Europe. Somewhere like Poland or something. I don't know. Somebody let me know. I hand me a little bit of Captain Morgan. I'll acknowledge that, right? But somewhere in Europe where they have a picture of the Virgin Mary locked up in a vault, right? Like one of the oldest depictions of the Virgin Mary, and she's black, right? And they call her like, or this might be something different. They might be the same. I don't know, but they call her the Black Madonna or something, right? And they bring it out once a year to worship, right? And it makes me wonder, like, what exactly am I missing? Because again, I feel like there is something deeper to this shit. And you know what? Let me put my hotel hat on, y'all, because Chile. When I tell y'all I went to Mexico a couple years ago, I went to the Chichen Itza for my birthday in July. That was the worst decision I ever made. It was hot as fuck, right? And I was down there. I was at the Chichen Itza. And y'all, I was so hot, I was about to die. Like, I was literally just sitting under a tree, right? Because it was like an empty field, just blazing hot sun, right? And it was this one fucking tree. So I sat under the tree. It was like 20 other people under that tree because it was hot as fuck, right? And I remember my sister was like, you good? And I was like, yeah, I'm good. Like, but no, I was really finna die. I think I was like about to have a heat stroke. And it's crazy because I was drinking enough water, but I don't think I was getting enough electrolytes. I think that's what it was, because yeah, that was terrible, right? But I remember I was sitting under that fucking tree, hot as fuck, right? And there were who's the Chichen Itza built by? Inca people? Child, this Captain Morgan beating my ass, right? Whatever group of Native Americans built the Chichen Itza, there were still some of those people down there. A lot of people think that they're like extinct, but no, they are still down there, right? But I remember I was looking at them, and they, like, they looked like Native Americans. They didn't look like black people, right? And I was thinking to myself, it's hot as fuck down here. Like, and these scientific theories always say, oh, people evolved dark skin because of, the hot sun temperatures to protect against the UV rays or whatever. And I said, well, if that's the case, then everybody in this motherfucker should be black. Like, no motherfucking way, if that is the scientific theory, that, folks evolved dark skin to protect against the sun, that these motherfuckers is down here looking like that, and that they're the indigenous people to this land. Chile, I'm starting to sound like the Hotep, the Turtle Island niggas. Oh my goodness. But I was like, there's no way. There's no way. Them niggas down here where it's hot as a bitch, like I'm about to die from a heat stroke, they need to be blue-black type niggas. You know what I'm saying? They shouldn't be no, these individuals. Like, that's just, to me, that's not math. And clearly the hypothesis is wrong, right? But I remember I was sitting there, again, finna die of a heat stroke, and I thought to myself, shit, niggas might be indigenous to this motherfucker. Y'all, like I said, oh my goodness, like, I sound like the Turtle Island niggas, but for real though, like, that had me to thinking, there is something deeper to this, something I don't know clearly. Like, maybe everybody's mad because maybe we really is indigenous to this motherfucker, and they the aliens who came to motherfucker. I don't know, chill. Like, ooh, let me stop drinking this Captain Morgan. Like, good night, y'all.